Hi, Viva la Diva. It's Jamie Bastello. It's been a while since I've made a video. I wanted to give an update. I realized I received an email from a friend of mine that I hadn't talked to in a long time. Hi, Anne. It's nice to hear from you. I realized that I had not really told anybody on my YouTube channel what happened to me or posted a video for a really long time, so I thought I would take an opportunity to do that. I don't know where my equipment is. There are things in boxes. I don't know where my mic is, so hopefully everything will just kind of work for now. And I'll try to remember to look at the camera and not at myself, which is a really bad habit. I'm sure you guys are used to it. So before I get started into what this last year has been like for me, or at least the last 9 months, I just want to give a shout out to all of my friends and family and say thank you so much for your love and your prayers. I received a lot of phone calls and emails from people sending their condolences about my mother passing. My mother died in February, and I would like to kind of talk to you about that a little bit and my thoughts about that. So I really appreciate that, and I appreciate all your love and support. I am doing okay. I am still super sad, so it's been sort of a slow process for me. I would like to say, before we get started, if anybody is interested in me coming to your home to do a home concert, please email me and let me know that you're interested. That would be great for me. I'm needing financial avenues. I don't have a job right now, and money is a little tight for me. So if anybody's interested in a home concert, just let me know. And what we do is we do a little home concert. We try to find an online venue where we can sell tickets, and then we sell tickets in your home for maybe 20 people. Doesn't have to be a big crowd, but it's great because it gives people an opportunity to have a Jamie Bastello concert in their home. We have a great time. I've done them in my home in the past in Boulder, and it just was really wonderful, and people love it. And what we'll do is we'll live stream it, or we'll find a venue. There are different sessions. There are different venues that we can set up and sell tickets online, and it's a great opportunity to support your favorite diva. And I want to encourage people to also, if you are interested in giving me a love gift through this period of time, you are certainly welcome to do so. Please email me and I'll tell you how you can send that to me. I'm just in a real strapped financially, and I'm kind of not in a good state to go work in an office or any place right now. I'm better at singing probably at this point. And you know what? I think as a musician, as an artist, we need to talk about something, especially as a singer, that is really important, that we have sort of this weird idea in society that we can support artists like painters and sculptors by buying their art, but we forget to buy our local artist, our favorite diva, whatever. We forget that they need support. And I was talking to my daughter Snow, and she was saying, they learned that an artist, a musician, a performer, only needs 1,000 die-hard fans that buy everything that they put out to make a living. And we can make a living as artists if people will just support their artist. So, you might think about whether that's a family member, that's someone like me that you adopt, and you're just like, you know what, I want to support you. I think you're great. I want to just, be your biggest fan and support you however I can do that. And we need to do that for our artists, because we need every musician that's out there. If someone loves to perform, and someone loves to sing, and someone loves to write music, and especially musicians, they don't need to be, it's not like there can be only one. We need to get out of this idea, that this commercialism, that music and musicians have to be so good and so famous before they can do what they love for a living. It's just not true. And I know a handful of musicians who make a living full time at music, putting out CDs, doing in-home concerts. A lot of them do in-home concerts, or book other venues throughout the year, and they make a living, and they pay their bills and everything. So I think if we can be more open to supporting musicians, and especially all different kinds of music, not just indie. I know indie is popular, and all I see right now with young people is indie pop, whatever. That's great. You play a guitar, great. But what about these other kind of quirky, facets of music, like opera, musicals, or even DJing, and disco, and I don't know. There's like all kinds. There's so many. And we just need to get behind our artists and support them. So I really, really encourage you to, even if it's not me, to select a musician to support, whether that is someone in your family that writes music, and just encourage them that they can make a living, because otherwise we're just miserable. And I'm never going to be a great accountant. I'm never going to be a great accountant because I don't enjoy doing it. I'm smart, and I have degrees, and I can show up to a job, but I will be miserable. And there's no point in torturing other people. It's better for me to just sing. So however I can do that, I'm ready and willing to do that. And one way is to book me for a home concert. You don't even have to pay for me to perform, which is great. You just have to put me up. If it's out of town, you have to put me up at your home, and then I'll do the rest. We can sell tickets. We can sell tickets in 20 in your home, and then others online, and that's great. That gives me an opportunity to perform, to get my name out there, and to have a good time, and to have community, and to be with people who love me. And that's what I'm interested in. All right. So I have flashed, hopefully by now, I have flashed my email address several times. Please email me with all your thoughts and ideas. Okay? I would love to hear your feedback on this. Back to my mom. I am going to post the funeral. I have the drive, the copy of the CD or whatever, and then I'm going to post it on YouTube so that people who didn't get to see the funeral can see the funeral and hear the eulogies and that kind of thing. When I left Boulder, I don't know if people know, but I moved from Boulder and moved back to Santa Fe in with my mom, because I was no longer employed and just couldn't pay my bills anymore. So my mom was like, come. I come, and when I get here, I realize that she's very sick. She had breast cancer years ago that ended up metastasizing, and by the time I got here, she had something called metastasizositis, which was fluid on the stomach, on the abdomen, and she looked like she was like 9 months pregnant. And I kept telling her, Mom, I don't think that she kept saying that she was fat, and she kept trying to diet, and I was like, I don't think that's fat. I think that's something else. And so we finally got her into the hospital. By the time we got there, it was just everywhere. So they basically told her she was dying. She had stage 4. It was in her spleen, her ovaries. It was breast cancer, but it was all over the place. It was in her spine. And it was just, I just couldn't accept it. She couldn't accept it. The family couldn't accept it. It was very, very difficult. She was, she was larger than life. She was a wonderful person. I had my own issues with her, but she loved me. And she was my person. I took a long time to make this video because it was really hard for me to talk about, because I loved my mom. Anybody who knows me knows how much I loved my mom. So I became her end of care life giver, and if anybody has done that, I just want you to know I commend you. I get it. People who have not done that, let me just say, that was the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life, next to give birth to 2 children. I just don't think if you have not done that, you can't imagine how truly difficult physically, mentally, and emotionally being a end of care life giver is. And it is full time. It takes all of your time and all of your energy. And so we were going to the hospital to have her abdomen drained every 2 weeks, at least every 10 days and 10 to 14 days. And they would drain 8 liters of fluid off of her abdomen, which was like cancerous fluid that was heavy. So it was like 40 pounds every time they did it. She hated it. She was a trooper. She gave the nurses and the doctors just pure heck. She walked out of the hospital a couple of times. She was a spitfire. And I just loved her for it. And I am so glad that I took this time to be with her. It was the single biggest event of my life. And I am honored that I got to be with her towards the end. It was death, can I just say, is nothing like the movies. It is so much worse than you can imagine, and so much more beautiful than you can imagine. Because when your loved one passes, you know what's real and what's not real. You can see the difference between someone who has a soul in them and someone who doesn't. It is remarkable, and it's instant. And that shell of a body just wasn't her after she died. It just wasn't. Didn't look like her. There was nothing that even remotely resembled that body that was her. I am really grateful that I got to experience that, because I needed to understand what was important about life. And it's not a job, and it's not being famous, and, you know, even as much as I want to have people that I love in my life, it's really not about that either. It is this soul journey, and it is about our awareness of the soul. And that looks different, and different people describe it differently, okay? So I don't want to be ultra Christian by boxing in this expression, saying it has to look the way I interpret it, or it has to be the way I see it, because it doesn't. She was describing things that were just, she was describing getting out of her body before she died. She was describing another dimension. She was describing things that, we don't normally talk about in society. Is that Christian? Is that not Christian? I don't really know, and nor do I really care. I think that Jesus loves me and loves her, and I know that she is in heaven. I know she is. And I know that that is where I will be going. I know that Jesus is a real person, and I will be going to heaven, and that's my faith, and that's my belief system. But there is so much more to what we're experiencing as people. And we have to get over ourselves, basically. We have to stop thinking that we are the end all and be all of this life, because we're not. There is something greater going on here. There's something bigger. God is bigger and more expansive than even our problems and violence and politics, and I just don't even watch it anymore. I don't even know what's going on anymore, because it just doesn't even matter. This life that we have is so precious. Don't waste it on a lot of stuff that just isn't important. It's not important, guys. Politics, this, that, all this stuff and fighting, and it's just not important. What is important is your soul and the journey of your soul. That's what's important. That's the bottom line. And I have a lot of friends on here who are even agnostic, and that's all good. I'm not saying, I don't want anyone to think like me or be like me. But I'm saying, in fact, that would be terrible. I'm a mess. Please don't be like me. I'm saying this is a completely different thing than I even thought that it was. This life, this journey is so different than what I thought. And what's important and what I thought was important are just two different things. They're just not, it's just not the same thing. So my mother's death changed my life, because now I understand that life is short, that we need to be loving towards each other, that we need to find some capacity inside of us to forgive each other. And I'm not a very patient person, and I'm sorry if I have expressed any of that impatience with anyone. But we need to learn how to be a little more patient and more loving towards each other. Especially people who are not like us, who didn't vote like us, who don't think like us. We just have to find a way to love each other. And I don't know how that is going to be. And for me, the best way for me to do that is just to sing. To share my love with you through music. To just open my mouth and sing instead of deliberating, running for office, I don't know, being in a job I hate. It's better for me to just sing. Make you smile. Bring some joy to your heart, some love to your heart. I think a lot about this Unity minister, Kathy Zavada. Before she was a Unity minister, she would hold heart-opening retreats, and I had gone to a retreat of hers in Maui and another in Mount Shasta. And I think a lot about her right now, and she has this song that I'll try to post it down at the bottom. It says, "All I ask is that you remember me loving you." It's just real simple. It's a chant. It's just remember me loving you. And, you know, my mom wasn't perfect. She had a lot of problems and a lot of flaws, and we all knew that. But she had a big heart. And she did love us. And she loved me. She really loved me. And that's what I remember about her. I remember that she loved me. And I hope that when I go someday, that people will remember me loving them. And that's all we can hope for. You know? We just have to find a way to be more loving. This is a really weird period of time, people. I don't even know what to say. I barely get on the news and look, and then I shut it. Because number one, I can't handle it. Number two, it's just, does it matter anymore? No. I fed my mom ice because she couldn't sip through a straw anymore. I cannot tell you the fragility of this life, of this human life that we have. To hold her in my arms. This woman who was so strong and brave. She could do anything. If she just wanted to do it, she did it. She rebelled against all of us. And if we told her she couldn't do something, she did it anyway. And at the end, she was so fragile. Because she couldn't eat. And she couldn't swallow. And the night she died, she was barely breathing. But I went down and I put my head on her lap. I held her hand, and I knew that she knew I was there. But she didn't want to die with me watching because she was too dignified. So she waited for me and my sister to go to sleep before she drew her last breath. That was the way she was. We tried to be there. We tried to stay up and take turns and make sure that we were there when she drew her last breath because we wanted to be there with her. But my mom was too dignified. That was the way she was. She didn't want us to be burdened with that last image of her. And every day, I miss her so much. Because she was just my person. She was my biggest fan. And she still is. So, I don't want to waste the rest of my life, and you shouldn't waste the rest of your life worrying about who's president, worrying about our economy, worrying about a pandemic. It'll all take care of itself. Trust me. There's plenty of violence to go around. There's, don't worry about all of that stuff. What you need to fill your day with is beauty and art and joy and the love of each other. And if you love me, and I'll love you too. And we need to fill this world with music. I'll sing for you. I'll make beautiful music that'll touch your heart and lift your spirit, and we'll think about other things, better things, higher things. Because that's what's deserving of our time, not all this other stuff. That's what we need to think about. The higher things, the beautiful things, whatever's good, whatever's pure, whatever's holy. We need to be thinking about that. We don't need to be thinking about stuff that just, it'll be there. Trust me. There will be plenty of it. But me and my friends and my family, we need to be combating that negativity with as much love and positivity as we can. And that means supporting beautiful music and art and beauty and beautiful people who are sensitive and loving. Okay? I love you guys. I thank you so much for being my friends, my family, my soul tribe, and supporting me in this journey. And I'm looking forward to many, many more years of song and voice and beautiful things and beautiful people. I love you.